Hello everybody, this is AL Thick Madame and this is finally the review on Pose. So this episode started out with Damon. I was making sure I was saying the right name because you know I got two shows going on with almost similar names. But this guy's name is Damon. Anyway, he is teaching classes and apparently it has slowed down to the point of where his checks are very much so trash. He thought he was gonna get a check decent enough for him to get him like a little meal to treat himself or buy an outfit or something at least. He barely can afford bus fare with what was paid. The Vogue dancing is gone. That has turned into a very fast, fleeting fad. And you know, it's just gone now. Everybody's into MC Hammer right now, and the only thing that really is available is people who are requesting that he come up with some class to show them the moves to the latest MC Hammer song, which was I don't want to say the wrong song because I was sure about to say Too Legit to Quit, but anyway, it is Can't Touch This. So he was even looking like, what? But yeah, he only has been getting like 3 people who've been wanting to come to class. So yeah, that's nobody. So yeah, he is not on the high that he was once before when people got into Vogue. So yeah. Anyway, they're at the newest ball and it's some kind of a brunch realness type of a situation where they are up there and they are acting as if they are at brunch, and you know, it was cool. And the person that was up there, they ended up winning. Pray Tell seems to be back to his old self, and when he was looking out into the crowd, he noticed Ricky out there. He was just sitting down and just looking like, what is my purpose in life? And he's just looking like somebody just was needing to break out into down on my luck, back against the wind, or one of them Tyler Perry songs real quick or something, because he was just really looking like anyway, Pray Tell actually did like this little encouraging word, and you know, he was like, you know, I know we had our time where people came in here, they saw what we were doing and they took it and they ran with it, and now it's gone, nobody cares about it, but we're gonna come up with something else. We're very creative, we're gonna come up with something else and they're gonna be back, so don't worry about this. So I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, because you know, that's what was happening. They saw what was going on in the ballroom scene and people came in, was biting off of it, stealing it. And you know, the world went crazy when they saw it. They thought it was brand new, but it wasn't. And you know, now they're done with it and moved on to the next big thing. So Blanca is at home. She's talking to Pray Tell, and she's just like, look, Frederica up in here doing the most. You know, when we did our protest, she gonna lie talking about they left all kinds of needles and I think like condoms and stuff like that all outside of where the shop was, trying to be shady. You know, that was a shady comment with her trying to basically say like, oh, they out here shooting up and having unprotected sex and HIV and all AIDS, all this spreading everywhere because they themselves are not straight individuals. So yeah, she was trying to be shady when she said that. So anyway, another thing that she wanted to discuss was that the children, which are Ricky and Damon, they are in their feelings and they just moping around the house and just ugh. And so Pray Tell was like, are they back together? She was like, no, I don't think they're back together. All they do is just sit around the house and watch TV all day. They don't feel inspired anymore. They didn't get the gigs. And what's his name? Ricky, he hasn't been on tour with anybody in quite some time. Like, he gets callbacks all the time, but nobody is booking him. So he feels empty and worthless at this point, and it's just a lot. I'm just like, sir, like, calm down. And Damon, like I said before, he ain't getting nothing going on down where he, you know, was teaching those classes. He ain't getting no check. So he feels uninspired as well. So while she's talking to Pray Tell was like, okay, well, we got to come up with a caper for these children, for the children. I was like, yes, come up with, I ain't heard nobody say caper in I don't know how long. Last time I heard somebody say something about a caper, it was in some rap song that I listened to. Like, that was the last time I ever heard the word caper. But I was like, yes, caper. But anyway. So anyway, yeah, moving right along. They ended up coming up with this idea where the two of them and Lulu had to come up with making a condom. So what they have to do is they have to make a condom that's like the size of Frederica's house. They're going to send a message to her and essentially a message to the world about, you know, safe sex, sexuality. I mean, it's like a whole lot of stuff all in one, because she's basically out here doing the most when it comes to AIDS and HIV, and you would think that she would, you know, operate from a less petty standpoint, but you know, Frederica is trifling. So yeah, but where they gathered, it was where they normally hold the ball, so I just had to make sure I put that in there too. But anyway, Lulu is in her feelings. All of them went off to try to brainstorm on how they're gonna do it, and you know, nothing they came up with is practical, because in order for you to do something that big, you're gonna have to have some good money, and nobody has any money. None of them have any money. As you know, none of them are really working. Now, Lulu is a stripper, but of course she's still not making money like that. She still has a house to support, and she's barely doing that. So she in her feelings, and she started crying, and she was like, I used to be smart. And, you know, she's just really feeling down. And she was just like, I just never knew how much Candy was really doing until after she died. So she just, you know, they encouraged her and let her know, like, you are, you know, better than what you're trying to give, you know, give your credit for. So, yeah, I was like, Lord. So, Angel made Poppy breakfast. She brought it to his room, and she was like, you know, I noticed that you came in late. Y'all know he's been doing the most work-wise. So she has this event that she's gonna go to, that she's been invited to, a nails event, and you know, he realized before that she said that she just wants to be friends and doesn't want anything to ruin their friendship, even though he wants more. So it gets to a point where, you know, she gets a phone call, and the phone call is stating that she is the new BB girl. Now, I know y'all know what BB is. I used to see people wear that stuff all the time. We didn't have money like that. I used to see the girls wear the BB shirts and all that stuff, and I wanted a BB shirt real bad, but oh well, it didn't happen. I actually have been seeing BB stuff randomly. I don't know what that's about. I don't know if, you know, are they having a random resurgence or what, or they just never went away, or you know, what's going on. I mean, I guess it's kind of because of all this champion and Feli and some of this stuff. I just don't understand why it came back out. I already said my piece on that before. I don't understand the hype, especially the stuff that look like big chunky clunky old woman and old man walking around the mall getting their steps in type of shoes. I don't understand the fascination. But anyway, BB used to be something I really, really wanted myself, and it just never happened because we ain't had money like that, so it wasn't gonna happen for me. Anyway, yeah. So she ended up, you know, because she screamed, and so he was like, what happened? So she was like, I'm the new BB girl. And so, you know, he was like, we gotta celebrate. So she was like, well, you know, I'm going to the nails event, and he was like, well, I'll come with you. And so she was like, the only way you're gonna come with me is if you're my boyfriend. And so, you know, they consummated their relationship in that moment with just a kiss. Sex will come later on with, you know, official consummation and things. So anyway, y'all, the children, and when I say the children, I'm referring to Ricky, Damon, and Lulu. They snuck to Frederica's house in the middle of the night so that they could take measurements. So, you know, of course, it's nighttime, and, you know, nighttime is a lot quieter, and, you know, she's definitely going to be there, more than likely knowing her. Then, you know, she might have some stuff set up in place, and if she doesn't, it might be a little noisy. So get the measurements and get out. So that's what they was trying to do. Lulu went to Electra to try to scam some of the money out of her. What she tried to scam all the money out of her that they were going to need in order to build, create the condom. And so, at first she was just like, what? I have a house to support. I have mouths to feed. And so, of course, Lulu, she has a way with words. I was like, girl, you need to do that. Okay. And she was like, think of what you could be doing. And then she brought up about one of the times when she did something at the ball and Pray Tell overlooked it, even though it was great, and it was because she didn't, show up in support of a protest or something like that was going on. And so, he read her down. I think that was that time when ACT UP had a protest and she didn't really show up. One of those, it's been a few protests, and one of them she didn't show up for. I think that's what it was. Anyway, and so she was like, well, Pray Tell ended up reading you, and then nobody could appreciate all that work you did. She was like, yeah, I put all that hard work into this, that, and that. I was like, girl, you fell for the lies. Anyway, she needed $2,500. She pulled out a wad of cash, and that was $1,000. And she was like, that's $1,000. And she basically was like, I'm gonna show you how to get the rest. Y'all, she ended up taking her down to the little BDSM place where she be going to get her extra money from all these people who are out here cheating on their wives because their wives won't give them the fantasies they want and whatever else. And some people, they just do it because they want to do it, whether they're in a relationship or not. But a lot of those people are married men who want to live out these fantasies through the trans women who are willing to do this for a price. So took her down there, and all she had to do was like whip this guy, punish this guy. And she was able to get all the rest of the money she needed in order to get that money. So anyway, Angel and Poppy arrived to that event, and they are greeted by the who's who and all that. And then this guy comes over, and you could tell that he's kind of up there, influential wise. And he leads them to VIP. They get to VIP, and it wasn't like it was in a room. It was just out in the open, right? These people over here snorting in front of everybody. And so it was like, what? They just do this out in public? And it wasn't Angel saying that now. That was Poppy. He was like, what? They just gonna do this out here in the public in front of everybody? And so she was like, it's VIP, darling. Or whatever. Y'all, one of the girls that was leaving who just had her little, bump, sniff, booger sugar moment. And she mentioned something about how that was the good drugs and it's nothing like the stuff that's like on the streets. And so Angel was like, who she think she talking to? Like, she looked like she was really about to roll up and like slap her real quick. But the woman, kept on walking on about her business. Y'all, the man offered them some. And so Poppy was like, no. Angel was already looking like, what I'm about to do is these drugs. Like, she was already looking at it like, it's time to get into this. I was like, oh my gosh. Y'all, so she done took one of them, right? One of the little vials. And I mean, she took like a pill or something. Looked like she took a pill. I don't know. Like, put it in her hand. But Poppy was like, y'all got a bathroom? Where the bathroom at? Where the bathroom? So they went and talked privately. And so he was like, we can't do stuff like this. She gonna lie to him and make it seem like it's the type of vitamins that they take at the house and all this. And I'm like, girl, if it was that simple, then you definitely can say no. It's just a vitamin. Why are they doing all this at the party? And the guy's like, there are no symptoms. You don't have any issues and all this. Y'all, these people was doing cocaine, something terrible. I was just like, bruh, you don't get somewhere and sit down. Anyway, they went back out to the party because I don't know. I keep trying to give Poppy the benefit of the doubt. And I forgot to mention, his real name is Esteban. And, when she got there, she was introducing, people to them, introducing people to him and him to people and actually using his real name. He was like, oh, you fancy now. You using my real name. It's official. I was like, oh gosh, y'all, they done came back to the table and they had their little area lined up and they started snorting. Y'all, instantly, as soon as they were done, it's like they were completely high. That was very unrealistic. I know sometimes you get that instant like, woo, but then you still have to have a little time for it to settle in. I don't think it just go like that. But anyway, I was like, what in the world? Y'all, they did the most, and they partied, they danced, they were having a really good time. And later on, like I told y'all before, they had sex. They was talking about they love each other. Oh, they did the most. I was like, somebody stop. So anyway, ACT UP, which y'all know is that organization that Nurse Judy introduced Pray Tell to, and he tries to be heavily affiliated with. They try to do a lot within the LBGT community. Anyway, they were hosting something where they basically were in on the caper, and they have it where they can they paid for a hotel room for the guys and the girls. They all had to share a room each. Guys in one room, the girls in the other. You know, whether if you identify as a girl, you go in the room with the girls. If you identify as a guy, that's the room you're in. So anyway, Pray Tell, Ricky, and Damon are in a room together. And Electra, Blanca, and Nurse Judy, and maybe, I don't remember, maybe Lulu too. I think Lulu was there too. They all were in a room together. So, y'all, Pray Tell and them, they all in the room together, right? And so, it wasn't nothing but 2 beds and 3 of them. So, you know, Pray Tell was like, I'm an elder and I'm finna get a bed. I don't know what y'all gonna do. But, you know, Damon ain't trying to really be in the bed with him like that no more, even though they're not in a relationship anymore. So, Ricky was like, look, I don't mind sleeping on a cot if you go get it. So, he was like, okay. So, he went and got a cot. So, while he was off getting a cot, Pray Tell and Ricky started talking. And so he gonna try to talk to him about his skincare regimen, because Pray Tell had like this, you know, cosmetics like container, bag, whatever you want to call it. Like he did a lot. It was a lot going on. And he had a whole lot of creams and stuff, like a whole lot of stuff. And he was like, yeah, this is my nightly routine or whatever. You know, I gotta keep my skin supple. You know, that's how how I keep my skin like this. And I was just like, oh, you did the most. Y'all, the conversation, it changed quite quickly. And Ricky was like, you know, my, you know, ex, or, you know, Chris, y'all know the guy who he was found out to be cheating on Damon with. He called him crying because he has tested positive for HIV. And so he was like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That's terrible. And so he was like, well, wasn't that the same guy that you were cheating on Damon with or whatever, right? So he was like, oh, he just, you know, basically was trying to say he just got head from him, right? And so he was like, well, have you gotten tested? And he told him he was gonna have to get tested. And he was like, again? He was like, yeah. Like, I cannot. Like, I understand that he's young, but I'm just like, why is it that you don't understand that you need to be getting tested quite frequently? He lives to not wear condoms, first of all. So it's like, why are you surprised that you need to be getting tested more often than you have? I'm tired. So anyway, he was just like, yeah, you gotta get tested, and you know, whatever. So he just be doing the most. He be having moments where he be like kind of flirting with Pray Tell. I'm just like, I ain't here for that. You need to stop. So anyway, y'all, they went to Frederica's house. Blanca called a news team, and they came out there and they did like a pre-interview before we were going to see everything set into motion, right? And that interview was really cool. I thought it was nice. For some reason, I don't know if it was a copyright situation or not, but I thought they were gonna say, we're here, we're queer, and we ain't going nowhere. But they just said, we're here and we ain't going nowhere, or something like that. But, you know, they got their point out. It was him and Blanca, and I feel like they did a really great job. Even the people who did that little interview even said, y'all make a good team. And they're like, we know. So yeah, y'all, it got to the point where Pray Tell was like, well, you need to turn the camera back on because the real show is about to begin. Y'all, they had done what they needed to do in order to make the house into a condom. And so I think Lulu turned on a compressor. I think it was a compressor. And the little thing that they paid for, It started filling up with air. Neighbors came from all out of the place, from all around the neighborhood when they saw what was going on. And it started to inflate, and it did seem to look like an actual condom that was on a penis by the time it blew up. Now, while they were in the middle of trying to get all this off the ground, one of their nosy neighbors came by. Y'all, I cannot, like, I would have never thought that I would see something like that. First of all, it was I think she's rich. It was just like a rich white woman, and she had like soft curlers in her hair. I was just like, you outside with curlers in your hair. Now, I've seen a whole lot of black people do that. I have never seen like somebody that's supposed to be on the level that she is supposed to be on that does that. Now, it's just something I just never knew of, or it's something that was a thing back then and possibly is now. But anyway, y'all, she had this huge dog with her. But anyway, she was supposed to be, she tried to be nosy or whatever, and Electra said that, oh no, we're, doing something for termites or something like that. We're exterminating. And she was like, oh, I just went out to lunch with her last week, and she said she really likes you and all this other stuff. And so she was like, oh no, I know you're really lying now, because I can't stand her, she can't stand me. And she was like, I'm still gonna call the cops. Y'all, but anyway, everything went off without a hitch as far as that was concerned. Y'all, Blanca is at the house at this point. After it's all over, she's looking for her cookbook. And so Damon is in the kitchen with her. He was like, oh, I borrowed it because I was looking up something myself. And so he went to go get it out of the room that he left it in. And then he walks in on Angel and Poppy after they've had sex, and they actually are actively in the middle of doing drugs and getting high. Then y'all know he was like, oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry. Y'all, they would have been all right if Angel hadn't dropped the vial of cocaine on the floor. She tried to get it real quick, but he knew what it was. And so they're going to try to say it at night. He was like, don't try to play me. I am not stupid. I might be young, but I'm not stupid. I know what cocaine looks like when I see it. And so, y'all, Poppy done set it all the way off. He done put him all up against the wall and was like, don't tell Blanca anything. And he was like, you of all people should know what mother would do. Because she put him out for like a month. Because this was when he was selling weed. Put him out, he had to just be homeless for a month until she felt like he learned his lesson, because he was selling weed, living under her roof. And she was like, these things are not acceptable. Y'all, I was tired of my spirit. So what happened was Angel was like, look, don't bring this up to mother. I ain't gonna do it no more, whatever. And so she threw the stuff out the window. So it was a glass vial. It was supposed to break. I don't know if it broke or not, or if somebody came. Ain't no telling what might happen after the fact. She might have some more. But she was like, you ain't got to worry about us doing no more. We ain't going to do it no more. Y'all, and they both look terrible. They look so terrible. I'm just looking like, y'all need to get off the drugs, like for real. That's something I say all the time. And I've been saying for years. And like when somebody says something really, really crazy, I'll be like, you need to get off the drugs or whatever. But they really do need to get off the drugs. I'm tired. So anyway, they had dinner, and the kids are the ones who actually, the children, as I've mentioned earlier, they're the ones who cooked the dinner. And it was a really nice dinner, and, mission was accomplished, so it was a celebratory type of dinner. And, like I said, the kids actually made it. They used the cookbook in order to do what they needed to do as far as that was concerned. Y'all, Blanca, she won that case against Frederica, so her shop is now open. She had a faithful customer, and she was like, girl, I'm so glad you're back open. I have been in need of this. And so she was like, yeah, the owner, I went up against her in court and I won. So she was like, what? You won a case against a rich white woman? Girl, keep the change. She paid her for her services and told her to keep the change. She was like, what? Oh, okay. She left. She turned around, and as soon as the woman walked out the door and she turned back around, Frederica was right there. And she was like, I have the right to refuse services. And so they had their little moment where they were going back and forth. Y'all, Frederica had the nerve to throw out there that, oh, this neighborhood can be quite dangerous at night. And you should be, you should be worried about yourself, pay attention to your surroundings, because, this neighborhood isn't up to the level that I thought it'd be at this time. It's a little early, for the gentrification and all that stuff. Trying to make it seem like she needs to be worried. It's kind of like she was insinuating that somebody might be outside ready to jump her whenever she leaves to go home from work. especially when she leave at night. And so she was like, are you threatening me? She was like, oh no, I'm just saying. And I was like, oh my gosh, y'all, I'm tired. It's too much. It's just too much. So anyway, Blanca met up with Lulu, and they were discussing, you know, the success of everything. And Lulu kind of looked at her like, oh, what's that? You know, they were having leftovers, right, from the other night, from that last night. And she was just, trying to act uppity. It's like, girl, it kills me how they try to act uppity and don't be having nothing. They don't be having nothing and be trying to be like, oh, I'm above this. No, I can't be having this. I'm like, no, beggars can't be choosing. You're doing the most, ma'am. But anyway, so they started talking, and it got to a point where Lulu was like, I just want to thank you for everything that you've done for me after everything happened with Kandi. I was in a really dark place and you pulled me out of that dark place. And she mentioned that she is going to school for accounting. So, she's doing better in life. I'm happy for her. I'm glad that she's happy again. Y'all, Pray Tell ended up going with Ricky to take the test to see, what his status was. He was really nervous, really scared, and all this other stuff. And he was like, just go in there and be strong. You'll be okay. Y'all, he went in there, the nurse was like, yeah, you have HIV. So will you be, doing something through us? Do you have a primary doctor that you, the woman just went. I understand that you're busy, but I just cannot stand people, these doctors that don't have bedside manner. I understand he wasn't in a hospital or on bed, but I'm just saying, what bedside manner is. But she just no personable skills. I just cannot stand that. Gets on my nerves, treating you like a number. A lot of these people, they just treat you like a paycheck, and that's not cool. It's like, why? Y'all, he was like, whoa, wait a minute. You said what? Told him he was HIV positive, wanted him to give them a list of the names of his sexual partners and their phone numbers. And he was just livid. He went outside, then he just shook his head. So Pray Tell already knew he had HIV, honey. So he came over there to console him. Y'all, he broke out into a weep. I was like, oh my gosh, no, it's too much. It was bad. So anyway, y'all, so Angel is almost 2 hours late for her, photo shoot. And I'm just like, girl, you had all these opportunities handed to you on a silver platter. Girl, these people came to your house. They have a car waiting on you. You don't get in the car because you probably somewhere still getting high or sleeping off some of your high. And I'm just like, stop. Anyway, she finally strolls in. And she's almost 2 hours late. And I'm just like, ma'am, you was wrong. So Mrs. Ford is just looking at her like, let me speak to you alone. Because Esteban, Poppy, Esteban and rolled up with her and was like, hi, I'm her boyfriend. She was like, yeah, I've heard a lot about you. And was like, I need to talk to her alone. Went and talked to her and was like, I thought you were better than this. Angel did her usual, you don't know me. And she was like, haven't we done this before? I was just like, girl, why you keep saying somebody don't know you? But anyway, she was like, look around. You have a whole team here waiting for you. And I'm just like, girl, like everybody literally is there for her hair, makeup, everything. The photographers, every single thing that was in place was there for her. And for you to have even had somebody to come pick you up, girl, you trifling. You are like, the things that have been handed to her so far, a lot of people who are in the modeling industry who have been there, especially back in the time when she was in it, even though that's not that long ago, I'm just saying, they still had to go on these go-sees. They had to get to these places on their own. They ain't had nobody just like, oh, let's roll out the red carpet for her. Like, and we all know she doesn't have a vehicle. So these people came, sent a vehicle to you for you to get to the place on time. You supposed to have been there at 7:30. Girl, it's 9:15. What is going on? It is 9:15. You knew you were wrong. So anyway, y'all, got to a point where the woman basically was like, I basically deal with people like you all the time, and I hate that about the modeling industry. I hate that when it comes to modeling. I hate that when it comes to stuff like that. Some of the people in the music industry as well, all that stuff is kind of under the same umbrella. A lot of these people get in there, and when they start out, they have this amazing talent. They are offered these drugs. They take the drugs. They become addicts, and their career falls off. They die, whatever. One of the two happens, and I hate that. You know, unless she gets her act together, I just see her becoming the typical addict that used to be a model. And now she toe down in the face because she's been doing drugs more than she was modeling for all these gigs that have been placed in her path. But anyway, y'all, the icing on the cake, so to speak, is while she was about to get herself ready to go because everybody was rallying around her and about to start hair and makeup and put her in an outfit, somebody says, "Hello, Angel," and it is the guy who was her photographer, who was supposed to be that photographer that was going to take the headshots and all this stuff for her when she first came and was auditioning for Mrs. Ford. You know, the guy who had the blackmail like type photos, and he knows who she is. He's seen her before, and he has an affinity for trans women like her. Yeah, it was him. So that's how it ended, y'all. And I was tired of my spirit. But anyway, it's just too much. You know, Miss Ford was right when she said, you know, she asked her, like, do you want to burn out? And she was like, nah. And I'm just like, girl, I don't believe you right now. You need to do something because I'm tired already of looking at you. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this. And I'll see y'all later. I'm about to do ambitions. Y'all have a good one. Bye.